Hello everyone, this is a video I made to tell you more about the process behind an illustration I made some time ago. It's based on a dream I had, and what the dream was about is I was in a sailboat in the sea and I ended up falling into the sea. I always wanted to start a dream journal, so I decided that not only I will write the dreams down, but I will also illustrate them and try to create a story out of that. And in the future, I will make a video that starts from me sketching out something throughout the whole process until the end. But right now, I'm doing it this way to just get a feel for it and actually tell you about what I did and how I did it. So this is the sketch I started off with. And it's important to note that depending on the style, I end up using different kind of brushes and the technique is different and the outcome is different. It really depends, and I will show you other images that are from the same series. However, the plan was different, paper stock is different, and you can all tell. From this one, for example, I only used about 20% of the whole image. This is what was left out of it, just because the style wasn't working for me, and I had to scrap all of that. Anyway, so this is basically how I began. You just had a couple of colors, a gradient to get a feel for where you want the light to be. Start composing a bit. Then I started adding textures because I think one texture, even with one color, goes a long way. And it could have really nice effects. And now I usually make custom brushes for most of the illustrations I make. And for this one, I made these. They're from a couple of reference photos of underwater pictures. You can actually tell, and it's a simple selection of just choosing the thing you want to make into a brush, go edit and define brush preset, and you're all set. And you can also change the edges a bit on if you want them to be softer or not as soft. Although it's important to note that I use them a bit like stamps rather than normal brushes. So anyway, after I had my brushes set, I started adding a few layers of it. Now this layer is interesting because it's set in overlay and it's with a layer mask. It's a full fill of a layer, and I start taking out rather than just adding and then erasing parts of it like this one. After that, it's a really simple process of adding more and more. They'll still orient me a bit about what I want it to look like. The darker parts I want it to be here, some lighter parts where I want it to be, and this just goes on and on. Again, it's a simple process of adding and taking out of various layers. And you can see it's beginning to take shape. At least it's beginning to make sense. And since I want it to look like you're falling into a tunnel, I started changing the layer settings and the colors depending on the depth. So the higher you are, the closer you are to the surface. It's light blue, and then it starts getting deeper and deeper into the sea. It starts to get darker and colder. And as you can see, just with a handful of layers, and it's already having a close to finished look. It looks like 70% finished. You can get an idea what's happening. And now, just adding a simple couple of layers. Now, I wanted to take out the texture of the pencil, although for me it makes sense to actually leave it because it's a different texture from the whole thing. Here, everything here is water, and this is a bottom of a boat. So I think it adds a nice separation from the materials themselves. I wanted to add some little bit of light piercing through, and I think I have another layer with just some color. And this is what happened throughout it. That's the whole image. But now I'll go back a bit and tell you about the sketches and why they matter. So for example, I had a sketch for this one, which again I ended up erasing all of it. This is all just colors, selections, stamps, a couple of brushes, and some elements are taking out the photos. So it really depends how, and you can't really tell that they're from the same series, although they're supposed to be. And here's another one, which again, even though my plan was to, as you progress into the dream, I wanted everything to become more and more intense. And so this is kind of the high point of the dream itself, the most intense part. I want to illustrate that with not only the style itself, but also the paper stock and the coloring, because it's a bit unnatural, it's intense, but I thought it worked well from the idea I had. And this is the last one. Again, color-wise, it does make sense if you look at the other one, although still it's a bit different, and you can tell I've helped myself a bit with some photos here, and I'm not sure the style actually works with this one. However, these are supposed to be from the same series, and you can see how they're all different. So it's really important to plan your images ahead, and also maybe experiment a bit about how do you want to look, because I obviously did, and this is the end result. I've written more about the process itself in my blog. You can see the link below. And as I mentioned before, I do plan to make more videos about going into how I start, how I do things, sketching, and all of that. So if you would like to see more, you can click like and subscribe to my channel. Furthermore, if you have any questions or suggestions, just feel free to leave a comment below. I will be more than happy to answer. I want to improve the quality of the videos, improve my skills, and maybe provide some interesting content for you. So this is it for now. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.